Well, 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 guess who's Bizak? Woo, it's your boy. Now, I didn't want to do it. I'm sick and tired of Brendan Sorsby. But the Cleveland media just want to take it there. Everybody just want to take it there. I don't know why. I don't understand it. I'm trying to get some help to understand why we still talking about Brendan Sorsby. When Todd Monkley very eloquently said, I don't want nothing to do with that shit. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Brendan Sorsby, who has now going to declare for the NFL supplemental draft coming up at the end of July. He will probably be the only participant in such supplemental draft unless a few others in college decide, hey, I might want to go on and go now instead of waiting for later. But we shall see. It takes special circumstances to be able to enter the supplemental draft, and Brendan Sorsby is damn sure in some special circumstances. So we know he gonna enter the supplemental draft because Texas Tech was getting in a lot of trouble trying to make sure that Brendan Sorsby was able to play next season. So much so that they let him keep his NIL. They even said that Brendan Sorsby paid for his own lawyer. Lies. That man ain't paid for his own lawyer. The school paid for that lawyer. That billionaire paid for that lawyer. We know Brendan Sorsby ain't coming off that type of money when he had already known that he was going to have to enter the supplemental draft. Texas Tech said they are not coming after any of the NIL money that they have already given Brendan Sorsby, which is cool. He probably got $1, $2 million, $3 million already stacked up, sitting in his pocket. Because they probably gave him half up front and half when you finish the season, or monthly stipends, however they worked it out. It made it do what it do. But I'm sure Brendan Sorsby has lost a lot of his NIL sponsors outside of Texas Tech that was going to pay him a healthy sum of money. But the Cleveland media is trying to compare Brendan Sorsby to SHEDEUR. Now, we've already seen this matchup, and we know when they matched up on the field, SHEDEUR was heads and tails above Brendan Sorsby. As each of them finished their collegiate season with their stats that you see on the right side of the screen. SHEDEUR in passing, completions, and attempts is head and shoulders above Brendan Sorsby. Completion percentage, oh yeah. Yards in the season, oh yeah, SHEDEUR. Touchdowns, oh yeah, SHEDEUR. Interceptions, we'll call that mute because he got 10 more touchdowns. Brendan Sorsby got 5 less interceptions. So, Brendan Sorsby killed him on the rushing yards, but SHEDEUR still got 4 touchdowns in the season. It is what it is. We've seen this story play out. But Brendan Sorsby will come in the NFL if he comes in. If the NFL, they can't keep him out. Only things that can keep him out of the NFL is nobody drafts. That's the only way. But Brendan Sorsby is that guy. He's highly touted. He has now become what they call somewhat of a guy that would have been drafted in the first round. But we're going to get into it because I got Emory Hunt called BS on all of it. And he wasn't even playing with you. He ain't playing no game. So we're going to dive right into this and see what Emory Hunt is talking about. So y'all know what to do before we get started. You know how to do your boy. Go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Turn your post notification bell on. if it's not already on. If it's on, turn it off, turn it back on, do it again. You know what I'm saying? Do it like that. But let's get this party started, man. Let's hear what Emory Hunt is talking about. Y'all ready to go? I know I am. Let's get it.
Next on the track, so let's get it started. Yo, what's poppin'? People, your boy Snacks in the building. Yeah, I'm showing love to the whole community. Auntie, SHEDEUR, and Coach Prime in unity. And I'm rocking with the new Cleveland, you already know. Much love to G Bush and K-Sap and Money Man and well off media. They ain't new to the game, to the most high. I gotta give thanks, love, peace out. That's all I gotta say.
Now, as we know, Todd Monken spoke on Brendan SORSBY earlier in the season, and the Cleveland media is ramping it up. They are highly, highly touted and ready to talk about Brendan SORSBY. But what's going to happen if Cleveland gets Brendan? They already got 4 quarterbacks. What are you going to do with a 5th? Where is he going to get his reps? How is he going to get better? What do you do with 5 quarterbacks in one room? I don't know. But the question is being asked, and let's hear about it. You know what I'm saying? Because Brendan SORSBY is a lot to have to deal with coming into this NFL draft. There will be a lot of questions, especially a lot of questions from the media. You think he can handle it? But going to Cleveland, where would he fit?
Where are the reps coming from? Is he your starter? Now, did you just waste the whole offseason program? Okay, he shouldn't be your starter. So let's say he's not. So again, where are the reps coming from? Dylan Gabriel's getting 2 reps a practice.
Right.
Taylor Green's getting 0.
Right.
So who is SORSBY going to take reps from? And why would you use a draft asset today for next year when you don't even know what type of season you're going to have? Can you imagine if you use a 2nd or 3rd round pick on SORSBY and then you win 4 games?
Yeah.
And now you got a top 5 pick,
right?
With
and
all
you're
those
gonna
you're going to
draft another quarterback.
Exactly. And you just wasted a 3rd round pick in a loaded draft. This would be the dumbest thing the Browns have ever did.
Yep.
If they do it, I don't believe they're going to do it.
And at the next,
you would draft another quarterback. What in the Sam Heddle's kitchen are you talking about? So if you draft Brendan SORSBY, and we already know he probably wouldn't play this season because there would be no practice time left, then you don't finish where you want to finish in that season and you finish very high in the draft, then you draft another quarterback. That's crazy. That's real crazy. What are the Cleveland media on? I don't know. But I know one thing. We got some more questions to answer.
I'm into the supplemental draft is yes. And this is something that obviously SORSBY's team has been vetting. And I think probably the simplest way to explain this is the NFL, like if you take this from the perspective of a court of law, the NFL is basically a trade association. And Brendan SORSBY is not a member, is not a union member within that trade association, right? So if you follow me here, he's not a part of the NFLPA yet. So he's not subject to their rules yet. And so, like, legally, a trade association can't deny someone employment when they don't work within the trade association. They have to leave that up to the company. And the companies in this case would be the teams. So, like, I think, like, in this case, because he does qualify for the supplemental draft, which the rules are, if you're deemed ineligible, that you qualify for the supplemental draft. There have been different reasons for that, right? Josh Gordon was drugs. Terrell Pryor was rules. There have been a bunch of guys where it's been academics, right? Like, but he's ineligible. And so that makes him eligible for the supplemental draft. And he'll be ineligible as soon as he withdraws the lawsuit, which is happening today. So they have to let him in, I think. Then comes the second piece of it, which is there going to be any sort of sanctions or repercussions for what he did at the NFL level? And that's a little murkier. You know, I think really a lot of that might come down to, would Brendan Sorsby rather just enter the league without a fight? If the NFL tries to impose something, will it be everybody to their battle stations? Or will they somehow work out something ahead of time?
Now, that is the question. Will they work out something ahead of time? Because like I said, they don't have to draft him. Just because he's in the supplemental draft doesn't mean a team wants to draft him. And Todd Monken has already told us. Hey, I don't know if I'm with that. That's not for me. That's not my cup of tea. You can keep that away from me. But if you don't remember what Todd said.
Not at all. I mean, that's not even come across my desk. I don't think we're in a position to want to go down that road. That's my opinion. That's not Andrew's. And that, I like the quarterbacks that we have. I think that's a slippery slope when you go down that, irrespective of talent, right? In terms of the situation he's put himself in. Like we all know what that is. He put himself in that situation. And we've seen in other sports with players that have been banned for life from playing in professional sports. I think that's a slippery slope to go down that road. Again, that's a question for Andrew and for management. But from my end of it, kind of a tough angle to go down that road and think that that's going to be your franchise quarterback if he's ever eligible to even play in the NFL.
Yeah, we haven't had a supplemental draft in a while, or I guess a couple of years now. No different than we do every year. We'll do the work on all the prospects, and then we'll make the appropriate decision for the.
You heard her. We're not with that action. We're not trying to do that. But they do have options. But Emory Hunt said a while ago that he didn't think Brendan Sorsby would even make it to the draft. He might not even make it into the NFL. Now that's a thought. Now what if no teams draft Brendan Sorsby in the NFL draft? Where do you go? CFL? UFL? Talk to him, Emory.
I thought that people thought he could be a first-round pick in 2027.
I was wondering, yeah, maybe I was looking at a different guy.
But I didn't think he would be a first-round guy.
That's what I was saying. I was like, is Sorsby in the room with us right now when y'all saying this? And there's no knock, but it's just like we watch college football season, and usually the first-round picks jump out at you right away. And so I didn't see that, but I don't think he's playing college football again, and it probably wouldn't shock me to see him not play football again, because that's serious allegations right there. You know, and what happened, what he was, assumed to be doing. You can't bring that smoke into your NFL organization. So he may have to go to an alternate route to kind of get a couple of years of clean play before he can come back, because man, this is the barrel's still hot right now. The smoke's still off the gun. Like you gotta lay back for a little bit. Like, so I feel like this is bad for him, and you don't want to invite that smoke into the league right now, being sponsored by this gaming company, that gaming company. Might be a bad look. So he may have to go up north a little bit, maybe play in the UFL for a little bit. just to clear his name, let that smoke clear, and then come back into the NFL?
He might have to. He might have to go up north a little bit and then come back and get that smoke up off of it. This is a slippery slope because gambling is thought to be a career ender, especially if you gamble on your own team. Now, Calvin Ridley was suspended for a year for gambling because he made prop bets on his own team while he was on the injured reserve and wasn't playing. So he wasn't in the commission of a game and could not change the outcome because he wasn't there. He wasn't participating. But Brendan Sorsby betted on his team over 40 times, placed over 9,000 bets on college football alone. So the integrity of the game is questionable when you're talking Brendan Sorsby. But Emory Hunt wasn't done because he wanted to know how Brendan Sorsby became that all of a sudden guy that would be drafted in the first round.
Thoughts in this whole?
Well, at what point did he become a first and second round talent when no one talked about him entering the draft? When he entered the transfer portal, nobody was like, oh, he should go to the draft. Like Dante Moore, who came back to school, right? He was a projected first round pick and he chose to go back to school. So where is this coming from? Like, where you see him at?
Let's break this down. Firstly, when he became a first round pick, what's the date?
June 16th.
June 15th. He became everybody's clear-cut first round pick because it wasn't during the season. Because if it had been during the season, then we would have heard him potentially coming out. Recency bias. And secondly, in terms of what I think of him as a player, late day 2, early day 3 guy.
I'll be damned if it ain't no crazy ass obsession with Brendan Sorsby going to the Browns on a team that got 19 quarterbacks already.
You know what's fascinating about that? Going to the Browns? It's not like we haven't seen the Cincinnati Bearcats play shedeursanders in the Colorado Buffalo.
We saw that.
On top of the fact that these same people said the Big 12 ain't a big conference, yet they're saying this guy who also played in the Big 12 is a clear-cut first-round type talent. I just need folks to be, consistent. This is an entirely disingenuous conversation.
And you love that word, disingenuous.
I love disingenuous. disingenuous. And if a hit dog gonna holler, let him squeal.
Ooh, Emory. Emory is not playing around with y'all today. If a hit dog gonna holler, let him whistle. Cause that man said, what's today? The 16th? Oh, he became a first round draft pick on the 15th. Because nobody heard Brendan Sorsby all last season, leading up to the draft. Brendan Sorsby wasn't talked about. Brendan Sorsby wasn't mentioned. All of a sudden, out of the blue, because of this situation, Brendan Sorsby is now considered to be a first-round quarterback. Kind of remarkable, kind of unbelievable. But if y'all watched Auntie Faye video yesterday, about this Brendan Sorsby and Emory Hunt action, then you understand. But all I'm saying is, you gotta respect Emory Hunt for telling it like a T.I. is, because that's all he's done. And he ain't doing nothing but dropping bombs on this whole Brendan Sorsby situation. The Cleveland Browns don't need Brendan Sorsby. What are you gonna do with Brendan Sorsby when he's clearly not a better quarterback than Shedeur? Brendan Sorsby needs a lot of work. His throwing motion, his footwork is horrible. They was talking about Shedeur's footwork? Brendan Sorsby's footwork is absolutely ridiculously bad. And I do mean bad. This man doesn't even step into his throws most of the time when he throws. Brendan Sorsby is a project quarterback. He's going to need a lot of work, whoever gets him in the supplemental draft if they do. But hey, y'all know what to do. Y'all know how we get down. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave your comments in the comment section. Cleveland gonna get Brendan Sorsby? I would probably think not. Because what you gonna do with him? Where you gonna play? Dylan Gabriel barely getting reps. Brendan Sorsby ain't gonna get no reps. So you might as well wait until next season to see what's gonna happen. Ain't no need of wasting another third, fourth round draft pick. You wasted one on Dylan. Don't do it again. But I'm gonna get out of here, man. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments in the comment section. Because your boy is getting out of here. We ain't gonna even put no more. I can put up videos for days on this crap. But we're not gonna do it. I'm not gonna submit y'all to all that kind of torment. But I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. One love. Y'all know how we get down. Peace out.
Yo. What's poppin', people? We back at it again. Big snacks in the building. This talk started on the game, late nights, red eyes, up low grind, 15 summers went by. Call of Duty lobbies, Lil Mike, big dreams. Now it's highlight reels, turning life to a meme. SHEDEUR on the screen, break the plate, slow it down. Every throw, every drive, every yard, every crown. Sunday talk show, but we chill on the couch. From the Hail Mary, hope to the dog pound out. It's that big snacks wave, let it ride, don't stop. From the sticks to the field, all the way to the top. Showing love to the Lord, to the fam, to the Browns. Serving auntie in the chat like, baby, hold it down. He be saying what we feel, what the game's about. If you rockin' with the kid, throw your comments out. From the start to the sign off, that's what we about. Saying love, peace out, love, peace out.